Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and it has been a hot minute since I have filmed anything. I think it's been since September. I didn't realize it had been that long, and there's no good reason for it. I just quit filming and got distracted. Honestly, I haven't hardly read anything since September. I kind of got on a bit of a manga kick and got distracted. And so I'm going to say that that's my excuse. But I'm in the mood to film today, so we're back. And hopefully I can be a little bit consistent with it again this time. But today, since it's the end of the year, it is the end of, well, it's the last half of December right now. So I thought that I would do a tier ranking of every single book that I read in 2023 because those are fun and I don't really have anything else to talk about since I haven't been reading much. I have a couple that I'm in the middle of right now, but I don't know that I will finish them before the end of the year. So I'm just going to stick with this list of books and we're going to call it done here. I think I have 35 books here that I read in 2023. And so tier rankings are fun. So we're just going to do that because I don't have anything else to do. And why not? I just realized I almost forgot to actually screen record. So I just started that. These are in no particular order. I did not put a whole lot of thought into the tier ranking categories because I just threw this together really quick. Kind of just decided to film on a whim, so I didn't put a whole lot of thought to this. But these are all the books that I've read this year. My ranking is for the top tier up here. I have phenomenal. Just absolutely amazing books that I really, really loved a whole lot. These are the books that I think are going to stick with me for quite a while. These are books that I'm continuing to think about throughout this year. And so these are the best of the best of this year. After that, I have solid read. These books were a solid read. They were very good. Probably the ones that I put in here are going to be the ones that I put rated 5 stars. So they're all very, very good. They just might not be as mind-blowing as the top category that I have. Then we have a fun time. There are a few books on this list that I enjoyed that were very good. Were definitely not mind-blowing or mind-boggling at all. Some of them might be objectively bad, but they were a fun time, and so I really liked those. And so we're going to put those in the middle there. After that is meh, books that were all right, but I didn't hate, but also probably were not the greatest thing in the world. So those are going to go there. And then at the end, we have pass. These are books that I did not like. I would not read again or recommend. These are just going to be the ones that didn't hit for me, and that's okay. I don't think there's a whole lot that will go in there. Honestly, probably most of the books that are in here are probably going to go right here in solid read, but I could be wrong. Sometimes where things end up in these categories is surprising. But we're just going to go through this again, no particular order. I just threw all the books in here, and let's see what happens. So, okay, first up, we have Hard Times by Charles Dickens. This is, I believe, the only classic I read this year. I have lots of classics on my shelves that I need to read, but I have not been getting to them. But I read this one and hated it. So we're going to put that in pass. We're going to start out right there. Did not like that one at all. So we're going to leave that there. Definitely the least favorite Dickens that I've ever read. In my vlog for that one, I think I said that I usually enjoy Dickens. And that one absolutely did not hit. I rated it 3 stars when I finished it and have since demoted it to 2 stars. Pretty much, I don't ever give anything 1 star. 1 star would be I didn't finish it for me. So nothing ever gets rated 1 star. But I hated that one. Not my thing. All right, next is Vengeful. Okay, so I'm going to do this series as a whole. Vicious came first. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Very, very good. I'm going to put up here in solid read. I think I gave it 5 stars. I really, really, really liked Vicious. It was so good. It was so fun. The not even morally gray main characters, but just outright bad dudes. I loved so much. So we're going to put that there. Vengeful, I did not like as much, and I'm actually torn between where to put this. because it wasn't bad, but it was all over the place, and the story was not super cohesive, and the characters that I wanted it to focus on were not the ones that were focused on as much as I wanted. There were too many characters and too many POVs and too many timelines. And so I liked it, but it was not my thing. It wasn't as good as Vicious, but it wasn't bad. So I really don't want to put it down here and meh, but I'll put it in a fun time for now because I did enjoy it. It wasn't awful, but it was too much. And at the same time, not enough of what I wanted. So that's going to go there. Okay. Oh, and then we're going to move right into more Schwab. Okay, so this is the last two books of the Shades of Magic trilogy. I read the first one at the end of last year, so that one's not on this list. Gathering of Shadows was the second one, and I am going to put that one in... Oh, that one is really good. I'm going to put that one in solid read because I did enjoy it. However, it was slower paced compared to the other two, which makes sense. Again, it's the middle book of a trilogy. They tend to do that. And it was largely just set up for the third book, which was terrific. The third book is going to go right up there with phenomenal. One of the best endings to a trilogy that I've ever read ever. It was so satisfying. It was really good. So that one's going to go up there. But the other one was very good too. They were both good. Okay. All Systems Red by Martha Wells. That one can go in the middle and a fun time. I enjoyed it. It was good. I enjoyed the first half of the book. And this is a short book too. Like, it's very short. I enjoyed the first half of the book when we were kind of just getting to know Murderbot and his character. The second half of the book was more plot heavy, and I realized that I didn't really care about the plot. I just wanted Murderbot being snarky and watching their TV shows. That was all I wanted. I didn't actually care about the plot and any of the humans that were involved. I didn't care. So that one's going to go in the middle of a fun time. I enjoyed that one, but I don't know that I will ever pick up the rest of the series because it wasn't, like, I don't keep thinking about it. Like, okay, it was fun. It was short. It was fun, but it wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but I did enjoy it. Okay, this next one is nonfiction. One of the only two nonfiction books on this list, I think. I did not read a lot of nonfiction this year, but I honestly don't usually. No Time to Spare by Ursula Le Guin. I'm going to put that up here. Yeah, we'll put it in a solid read. It was an essay collection, and it was really good. She talked about a lot of things, life in general, reading, writing, books, the publishing industry, things like that. And it was really good. I did enjoy it. There were essays that I enjoyed more than others. Some were really good. Actually, I really can't even call it an essay collection. That's not what it is. It's a published collection of several of her blog posts from when she had a blog. But they basically read like essays. So in my head, it's an essay collection, even though technically it might not be. But it was really good, and I really liked it. So that's going to go there. All right. This next one, I don't know where to put it. The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This one is a Greek mythology retelling. This one is the story of the war on Troy from the point of view of the women that are involved in it. So it's very depressing. It is rough, and it is very depressing because it's these women that are just treated like objects and spoils of war and are passed around as prizes and things like that. And it was so good because it's a point of view that we don't usually see. It did not romanticize the war at all, which is what we usually see, I feel like, with mythology retellings, which I don't have a problem with. I enjoy those. But it was refreshing to see another point of view. However, it was so depressing. It took me a really long time to get through it. I did a combination of reading it and listening to the audiobook, which helped. I think I'm going to put it up here in solid read because it was a good book. And I think there's a sequel, and I don't know if I will read it. I mean, this one's a cohesive story. I don't feel like you don't end it needing to go to a sequel. But this one was so depressing and so hard to read that I don't know that I'll grab the next one. But it was really good, and I loved Pat Barker's writing. I need to look up and see what else she wrote, besides just this mythology series, because her writing is really, really good. But this particular one was it was rough. I think we're going to break into our meh category with Daisy Jones and the Six. And this is not about the writing. The writing was fine. Taylor Jenkins Reid, I believe, is popular for a reason. This is the only book of hers that I have read. And I listened to the audiobook of this, which I heard you should do, and it was definitely true because the story is told in an interview style, and the audiobook has a full cast, a different voice actor for every character, and it was phenomenally done. Very, very good audiobook. But the story, again, I just didn't care for the story. It was an interesting concept, but none of the characters were likable. Every single character you just dislike, and you're like, why are you making these absolutely awful life choices? And so that's going to go there because, again, the writing was fine. The audiobook quality was fantastic, but the story itself, was okay. And I started the TV show too because Amazon made a show of it, and the show was okay, but it was just exactly like the book, which again is not bad. But I had just finished the book and was like, I really don't want to go through this story again, so I stopped watching the show. So that's going to go there. Okay. A Psalm for the Wild Bill and A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. These were so good. The first one, A Psalm for the Wild Bill, I'm going to put right up there with phenomenal. It was so good. And for books as short and as gentle as these are, they were, it was so nice. It was so nice. And I really enjoyed the second one too, but I did not enjoy it as much as the first one. So I'm going to put it down here in the solid read section. But both of these are so good. I listened to the audiobooks of these and I don't have physical copies of them. And I really, really want physical copies of them. So I need to just buy them at some point because they're just so good. This is How You Lose the Time War. I love this one. The writing is so pretty. It's gorgeous. Right up there with phenomenal. Just for the sake of pretty writing. That's all I cared about. The story was interesting too, but the writing was just so pretty. And I really appreciate that. So that's going to go right up there. Okay. I think Before the Coffee Gets Cold, this is Japanese fiction. It's a fairly short book. It has 4 chapters in each I think it's 4 chapters. And each chapter is kind of a cohesive short story, but all linked together through this environment of this cafe where you can time travel. But the cafe itself and the rules and the stipulation surrounding the time travel aspect was really, really interesting, and I really liked it. But I think just because, again, it's Japanese fiction, maybe just because of the translation or just how it's written, because I think this is the only piece of Japanese literature that I've ever read. The writing style was very cut and dry. And so for being such a short book, it took me a really long time to get through this one because I kept feeling just bored. So I'm going to put it in meh, even though there were parts that I really, really liked. Again, the rules and the stipulations surrounding the time travel element, I loved. I thought that was super cool. But then the stories themselves were okay. And some of them had some like really good points, but overall, just the mood of the book overall, I was kind of just about because I kept getting bored. So that's going to go there. Ooh, These Violent Delights. This one is hard because, again, it was really good and I really liked it. It's dark academia. It's a very toxic relationship. And I I really loved the way it ended. The entire time I was reading it, I was like, please end this way, please end this way, please end this way. And it did, and I was really happy. But again, it's also kind of depressing. But it's really good. I think I'm gonna put this one up here in solid read. It was good. I liked it. It was a lot, but I really liked it. So that's gonna go up there. Okay, this next one, Homebody, is a poetry collection by Rupi Kaur. It was good. I think this was like the very first book I read this year. I think I read this one right at the beginning of January. So honestly, I don't remember much of anything from it. Again, it's a poetry collection, so it's not like there's a plot I'm remembering. But I remember really enjoying it. So I'm just going to put it up here in solid read because I know I enjoyed it, and that's all I can remember. There was nothing I disliked about it. So it's going to go up there. Okay. Now, Beach Read by Emily Henry. Loved this one so much. This one is also going to go up in solid read because, yeah, I pretty much don't put any romance books up in this like phenomenal one. However, of all of Emily Henry's books that I have read, and I've read 3 of them, this one is by far my favorite. It's really, really good. It's very, very deep for being marketed just as a romance. It's very deep and very thought-provoking and really good. So that's going to go up there. Okay, another series that I need to put up here. Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. This is not my favorite series. I will read the third one that just released. I haven't read it yet. I will read the third one just to finish the series, but it's not my favorite. The writing is not my favorite, and the pacing and the organization is, I think it's bad, but that's just me. So I think I remember enjoying the second one a little bit more than the first one, I think. So I'm going to put the first one, Once Upon a Broken Heart, in meh, because I didn't love it. The second one, I think I will bump up to a fun time, I guess. Honestly, I could put it down here in meh, but I think I like this one a little bit better. So I'll put it there. Again, I don't want to say it's the writing, because the writing style is fine. It's really just the organization and the pacing of the story that is throwing me, and the number of story elements that I am consistently intrigued by when she brings them up, but then I feel like nothing is ever fully developed enough. And for being a trilogy, you'd think you would have time to develop all that. But there are so many elements that get thrown in, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. How is that going to play into the story? And then it kind of just doesn't. And so I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities in this series, at least so far, but I haven't finished it. Okay, my only other nonfiction for this year, John Green, The Anthropocene Reviewed. This is an essay collection. Very good. I'm going to put that one up here in phenomenal. Excellent. And I was shocked by how much I enjoyed this one, because his fiction is fine, but it's not really my thing. It's not something that I've ever super loved. There have been ones that I've enjoyed, but they're never like my favorite thing in the world. But this essay collection was really, really, really good. I cannot recommend this one enough. Very good. Oh, look, another series. Okay, so This Woven Kingdom and These Infinite Threads by Tahira Mafi. I enjoyed this one. This Woven Kingdom, I'm going to put in a fun time. This is a Cinderella retelling set in like kind of like a Persian-inspired world. So I really liked the world, and the world building in this one was pretty cool. But that one's going to go there. I enjoyed it. Very much. But it was just kind of a fun young adult fantasy romance. These Infinite Threads, I really, really liked. That one is going to go up in a solid read because I really liked that one. And I've said this before when I've talked about this book, but this entire book takes place over about a day and a half maybe 2 days. Nothing happens. Literally, absolutely nothing happens. It is just conversations and people talking with each other. And I loved it. I thought it was so good. I really liked it. And the amount of character development that happens in like 2 days. I really don't think it's any more than 2 days. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really don't think it is. But the amount of character development that happens in that short amount of time is wild, and I really like that. So I love that one. I can't wait for the third book to come out. I don't know if it's just a trilogy or if it's going to be any longer than that. But I'm really excited for the third one. Okay, yes, we're coming up on some really good ones. Babel is amazing, wonderful, phenomenal. I will never shut up about it. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. So that one's going to go there. Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel was a good sci-fi book. It was solid. It was solid. Yeah, it was sci-fi, it was time travel. And it's really good. It's not crazy long. I listened to the audiobook of it, and the audiobook is only 6 or 7 hours. It's not super long, but it's really good. I enjoyed it. I am interested in reading more by her. I think Station 11 is also by her, and I've heard good things about that one. So I'm interested in looking at more books by her. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This one is also so good. I loved it so much. Oh, I avoided this one for a long time after I heard about it, because when you just read like the summary of the book, and it just talks about, oh, it's a book about friendship and these friends making video games together. I was like, okay. I mean, that could be interesting, but it, like, nothing about that summary drew me in. And then when I read it, I was like, oh my goodness, there was so much emotional and character depth in this one that was just amazing. And I loved it so much. I sobbed so hard at so many points in this book, and I did not expect it to make me cry like that. And it did. So that one was really good. Okay. Ooh, okay. I have a couple books by Rebecca Ross in here. I'm going to rate these at the same time. Because honestly, I liked them both. Divine Rivals, I will say, was a fun time. I really liked it. The next book comes out in like a week. Yeah, because it's, what day is it right now? It's the 18th right now. So Christmas is in a week, and the next one comes out like the day after Christmas. So I'm really excited about the second one. This one ends on an awful cliffhanger. I'm just like, why? So I need to read the second one. I really liked it. That was the first book by Rebecca Ross that I had read. But then, because I enjoyed that one so much, I then went and read A River Enchanted, because I already had that one on my shelf, and I liked it even more. It was so good. I'm going to put that right up here in a solid read. River Enchanted is a Scottish-inspired fantasy. The island that it takes place on is very much based on Scotland. And it was really, really good. These are both first books in duologies. Again, the next one after Divine Rivals releases in like a week. And I have the second book for River Enchanted. I found it. I was looking for, because I got it used. I got River Enchanted used, and so I was looking for the edition that matched it, and I found it. So I have it now, and I'm really excited to read it because it also ended on a cliffhanger. So apparently Rebecca Ross is just really good at writing duologies where the first book ends on an awful emotional cliffhanger. Honestly, it's the same type of cliffhanger in both of them. But it still hit. It still hit really hard. And like when I finished A River Enchanted, I was reading it at a coffee shop, and I was about to do something else, and I was about to work on something else. And I was like, I had the book with me, and I was really close to the end. So I was like, I'll just finish this book real quick before I work on my other stuff. And I was fighting to not just break down sobbing in the middle of this stupid coffee shop, because I was like, I am not going to just start crying in public here. I can't do that. So I was fighting for my life with that one, because it was, the end hit me so hard, and I was so sad, but it's so good. Okay, Hester is also going to go up here in a solid read. because I really, really liked Hester. It's a fictional story. Um, so again, it's fictional, but it's about the woman that Nathaniel Hawthorne based the Scarlet Letter on. Again, it's fictional. Um, but it was really good. So like Nathaniel Hawthorne is a character. The main character who the character of Hester is based on in A Scarlet Letter is the character. Like it was very, very good. It did a really good job of making you really like one or two characters, and then turning it around and making you absolutely hate them by the end of it. So I got so mad in this one. I cried, yes, but I also got just viscerally angry reading that one. But it was amazing. It was so good. Recommend. Very good. And the imagery and the writing was really pretty in that one too. I also listened to the audiobook of this one, and the lady who narrated it has just the most wonderful accent. I was like, I just want to listen to her 24/7 forever for the rest of my life. It was awesome. But yeah, I really liked that one. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Oh, that one's good too. I don't know if it's on beach read level of good. I think I'm going to put this one in a fun time. It was a fantasy. Okay, it's not a fantasy romance, but it's a romance with fantasy elements. I guess is how I'll phrase it. Very much centered on found family and things like that. And it was really good. The found family element is really nice because it's a romance where the two main love interests aren't, the only two characters. Like the couple is not the only character. There are other very important characters very closely related to the story that I really liked. And it was cute and it made me happy, which was very nice, because I tend to read a lot of very emotional, sometimes sad and depressing books. And this one just made me so happy, and I really liked that. So that one was fun. In the Lives of Puppets is up here with Phenomenal. This is the first book I read by TJ Klune, and I loved it so much. I just picked it up just for fun. I had seen it around. It sounded interesting. I nabbed it from the library. I was like, all right. And the way that this one hit me so hard. It was so good. This is a science fiction Pinocchio retelling where the Pinocchio character is the only human. And then all the other characters are robots. And it was so good. It was so good. It also made me realize how, if I'm not actively trying to, how little I sit and pay attention and think about what's going on, because like plot twists that were story elements from the original story, like the most basic story elements from the original story would be revealed as plot twists, and I was like, I was shocked. I was like, no way. And then I was like, oh, I should have seen that coming. I'm just stupid. But it was really good. I haven't stopped thinking about this one. Some of the quotes from this one were just amazing. Absolutely love it. Okay, then we have Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. This one is a solid read. It was good. Again, the writing in this one was very, very, very pretty. It's technically a romance in that the relationship between the two characters is the central focus of the book, but like it doesn't read like a romance novel. And but their relationship is the key element. And it's kind of based on the theory of the guy's like, hey, I think we can get to know each other. Or he's like, I think people can get to know each other and like know whether or not they'll fall in love or something like that in like 6 or 7 conversations. And so they have these 6 or 7 conversations, and the writing is just gorgeous and amazing. And this one made me sad too. But it didn't have a sad ending, I don't think. I read this one also kind of early in the year, so I'm not as clear on this one, but I loved it. It was really good. Stolen Air by Holly Black was a fun time. That one was really fun. I read the Cruel Prince trilogy and very much disliked it as a whole. The second book was okay, but as a whole, I didn't like that one very much. But then this is the sequel series that I picked up, and I like this one so much more. The second book comes out next year, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking forward to that. But I really, really liked this one. I thought that I liked the characters better. I liked the story better. I thought that it was really good. So I really liked Stolen Heir. Very good. Legends and Lattes is also a fun time. That one was just fun. Read it super fast. I read it in a day, maybe 2 days. But it was just really fun, really sweet, extraordinarily low stakes. Really liked it. I just picked up a couple days ago the prequel that got released, so I'm looking forward to reading that because I really liked this one. It was cute. It was fun. I enjoyed it. All right. Happy Place by Emily Henry is my second pass. I hated this book so much. I got so mad. And especially because I had read Book Lovers. I read Beach Read and loved it so much. And so I was like, yay, new Emily Henry book. And I found a signed copy at one of my bookstores. And I was like, yes, I was so excited. And I absolutely hated this one. I have had a whole rant about it, so I'm not going to get into it. But I hated it. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't like the story. I didn't care about anything that was going on. I did not like it at all, at all, at all. So that's going to go there. Am I probably going to keep my copy of it? Yes, at least for a while because it's a signed copy. So I want to keep it, but I did not like it at all. Fourth Wing was a fun time. Wasn't good. There was nothing high quality about it, but it was fun. And I went into it saying, hey, let's have some stupid fun. And it was. And so we're going to go with that. I just started the second one. I haven't gotten super far, so I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it yet. But we'll see. But Fourth Wing was fun. Okay, the last one, The Salt Grows Heavy. This one I picked up at the library because I was browsing some of the new shelves, like the new books that they just got into the library. And this one was on there. And I picked it up just because the cover looked cool. I was like, this cover art's really cool. It's also very tiny. It's like a super small book. And I'm going to put it up here in a solid read because for such a short book, it was disturbing, but very good. It is impossible to describe. It's like the two main characters are a mermaid and a plague doctor. And then let's throw them basically into this weird culty group of children in the woods. Like, it wasn't like the setup wasn't the same, but it very much gave me vibes of like the group of children in Lord of the Flies. So it was like, let's throw a mermaid and a plague doctor in there and then have everything be very creepy. I thought it was just going to be fantasy when I picked it up. No, it was like fantasy horror. And I don't read horror ever. And so I was like, oh, but it was really good and I couldn't put it down. So I enjoyed that one. It's impossible to describe, but I liked it. Okay. And then that's everything. So those are all of the novels and, some poetry and a couple nonfiction that I read this year. And it was a good reading year. It was. I enjoyed almost all of these. As you can see, it's very top heavy. I only disliked a few. But my rating is very top heavy, which I am very happy about. It was a good year. They got some really good books in. So yeah, that's everything. These are all the books that I read in 2023. I am really, really looking forward to next year. Looking forward to what I end up reading over the next year. And we'll do this again at the end of next year. But yeah, this was fun. So these are my top ones up here from this year. Nothing in there surprises me. I really love those. Keep thinking about them all the time. They're really good. So that's everything that I've got. Hopefully I'll be making videos a little bit more frequently now. I'm kind of back in the mood to get back into some reading, back into making some videos, and I'm really excited. So Hope y'all have been good, and I'll see you next time. Bye.